So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you Per Martin Tanggaard, who can speak as well with the dead as the alive.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Hi. That was a fun introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a true honor to be here in Klaipėda at the Blue Economy Conference, and I have to compliment the organizers too. It's a fantastic conference here. So, in addition to funeral homes, I've also been a music teacher and plays guitar. So it's a lot of things to mention. I'm now a strategic advisor in Oceans, which is a company then helping other companies in the maritime sector to succeed. I will have a presentation about the Norwegian maritime ecosystem with focus on the maritime clusters. And yesterday, Tom, he already went through some of the framework, so I will skip some of the cluster theory basics in the presentation today. Ooh, there we are. Norway may be like a small country when it comes to population, but we do have a comprehensive maritime cluster. And in order to foster innovation and stay competitive in the maritime and ocean industry globally, knowledge-based maritime clusters are one of Norway's comparative advantages. If we look at the broader picture, the world is now expecting a growing population. In 2050, there will be approximately 2 billion more people on this planet, which means we need more food, we need more energy, and we need more minerals. And at the same time, as mentioned here before, it's important to take care of the environment we live in. The impacts of climate change and pollution are already evident for all to see. And the ocean offers new opportunities. It can provide huge business opportunities if carried out in a sustainable way. It provides food, it provides energy, and it provides minerals. And Norway, as an oil and gas nation, it's an industry which is really important for Norway. And we are in an energy transition where we need to phase out the fossil fuels. And in that, Norway needs to double the export by 2040 to compensate for the loss of oil and gas revenues. This slide, or this report, is not a new one, but OECD has estimated that 14 million jobs will be created globally in the ocean-related industries by 2030. And the total value creation of the ocean economy will double by 2030, based on 2010 numbers. So in the green energy transition, there is a growth potential in ocean economy. And in Norway, we have the Maritime 21 strategy. Norway seeks to be the world-leading maritime nation in 2030 by taking a leading position in the green maritime or the green transition. And in order to do so, Norway is strengthening the competitive maritime value chains and the clusters. We need to reduce emissions, and the global goals are clearly stated in the Paris Agreement, IMO, EU, and Norway is setting course for a net zero shipping to reduce emissions. The Norwegian Shipowner Association aims to order only zero-emission vessels by 2030 and become climate neutral by 2050. And there are two main drivers for the maritime industry and innovation to collaborate finding solutions in, and that's decarbonization and its digitalization and the technology. And these tasks are extremely difficult for a single company to solve by their own. And in an industry where there are no first-mover advantages, sharing knowledge and innovating in clusters makes the industry move faster and also help companies to share risk, resources, and cost. And research shows that companies that are part of a strong business cluster have both higher value creation and also a greater innovation power than companies that stand alone. Tom also mentioned this yesterday about Professor Torgeir Reve, which can be called the founder of Norwegian clusters. And one of the main conclusions was that Norway possesses 3 so-called global knowledge hubs, areas where we have a strong position and comparative advantages. Norway have one of the strongest ocean clusters in the world, based on maritime, energy, and seafood. And in order to stay competitive, Norway needs to strengthen and combine all these clusters into an ocean cluster. And Norway is actually also one of the few countries in the world with a complete maritime cluster, and ranked as number 4 as the largest shipping nations in the world based on fleet value. The leading maritime report from Menon was also mentioned by Tom yesterday, but I will say that there is one thing I would like to mention, and that is that we are not on the top 5 list, Norway and as the main companies or countries, but we are number 1 in green maritime technology. And that matches well with Norway's ambition and strategy. As mentioned, Norway have a complete maritime ecosystem, including comprehensive value chain and unique network of regional clusters. This includes ship designs, shipyards, equipment suppliers, ship owners, management companies, and technology developers, and service that enable customers and partners to optimize sea transport, making it greener, safer, and more specialized and also cost efficient. In addition, it's important that the clusters must include universities, students, governments, and all aspects of the industry, including law, finance, insurance, and especially startups and investors, and so on. And here you find an overview of Norwegian maritime clusters and where they are located. In the Oslo area, which is on the east coast, the clusters there are more focused on maritime services like finance, law, insurance, and so on. In the south, we have drilling equipment, and in the Stavanger area, or the offshore western, many of the offshore companies are based. And Maritime Møre have clusters consisting of ship designers, shipyards, equipment companies, and ship owners, and so on. Having multiple companies in the same industry or competence in a limited area creates a job market for expertise and enables them to compete for talent. And that's something that will be discussed later today. Joint research and development project based on clusters' extensive experience creates more innovation. And clusters also lead to closer collaboration between businesses, academia, and public administration, while strengthening the companies in their international positioning. One example of a cluster is the Blue Maritime Cluster of Møre, which is one of the most complete maritime clusters in the world, and Norway's largest industrial cluster with 200 member companies. And this cluster alone employs over 14,000 people and has a revenue of more than 58 billion Norwegian kroners. This is about then 5 billion euros. And close collaboration is a significant reason why companies in these clusters thrive. And their goal is to be the world's first net zero maritime cluster. And then we're coming to clusters and ecosystem, the next step. Because in order to increase innovation even further, there is a Norwegian pilot project where several clusters are looking to collaborate in order to speed up energy transition, share knowledge, and increase business and export. They are looking into starting an ocean supercluster. Canada already have this, and we are looking to build one. And sorry, this slide is in Norwegian, so it might be difficult for some of you to understand, but this is quite new. So this came just a couple of weeks ago. But the new supercluster will include more than 700 companies and institutions. And the thought behind this is to use the knowledge and experience from oil and gas sector and use this knowledge into new sustainable sectors, such as carbon capture, plug and abandon oil wells, and offshore wind projects. So based on research from Menon and all the clusters in Norway, some key success factors behind the maritime clusters in Norway is proximity to one of the largest and most advanced petroleum markets. It might be difficult other places, but it's really important in Norway. It's the cluster-based innovation, and there are the end users, like shipping companies and oil companies, are crucial to have in supplier innovations. Experiential skills in combination with research-based knowledge is really important. And also, what I think is maybe most important is the informal and trust-based relationships. This was discussed yesterday. The key element of collaboration is trust. And I think that's a part of the DNA in the Norwegian business culture. On the west coast in Norway, they have a saying in the clusters that we collaborate when we can and we compete when we have to. And I think that's a really good saying. To sum up, the development of a sustainable ocean business, both commercially and environmentally, can satisfy demand, safeguard our world, and deliver profit. In order to find the right way forward, we need collaboration then between politicians and the industry, new technology and the experienced players, men and women, young and old, startups and established companies. By enabling, inspiring, and learning from each other, we can combine individual strengths to build collective, prosperous, and a sustainable ocean future. So let me end the presentation with this statement. This comes also from Menon, based on the cluster strategy. And it says, it's not the products and the technologies that constitute the competitiveness in the Norwegian maritime clusters, but the capability to continuously create something new and better through collaboration in the ecosystem. And that, I think, is the main value. Thank you so much.